Hello and welcome to Cinema Therapy Reviews. I'm Jonathan Decker, licensed therapist who loves movies. No, Alan is not dead.
That we know of yet.
He is on hiatus. He literally finished this week a short film that he's been making for several months, and he's taken the rest of the week off. That short film, Cyrano, debuts on our Cinema Therapy Patreon. Today, it is a futuristic romantic comedy about AI and how AI could play into dating. So it's a cautionary tale, but it's also funny and very sweet, and it's up on our Patreon right now. So anyways, he's taking time off. It's just me, and I wanted to talk to you about Captain America Brave New World, which is getting kind of mediocre reviews from a lot of people. I'm here to tell you, I thought it was great fun. Now, no big surprise there. I know I have a reputation for being a soft critic to Alan's harsh critic, but here's the thing. I see all the flaws that other critics see, but I feel more like a regular moviegoer in that I'm there to have a good time. And Captain America Brave New World delivers a good time. In my opinion, the comparison is Avengers to Avengers Age of Ultron. Avengers Age of Ultron comes out, it's flawed, it feels lesser than and is lesser than the films that came before it. So people dumped all on it when it came out. And then it's aged very well as the hyperactive fanboy hate has died down and people say there's actually a lot of good things about Avengers Age of Ultron. That's how I feel about this. This is not a bad Marvel movie. It's not even close to the ballpark of their worst movies. Neither is it, Captain America Winter Soldier or Guardians of the Galaxy. It's middle of the road Marvel. What that means though, is that it's better than a lot of the Marvel we've been getting, and most importantly, actually has a direction and a purpose. A lot of Marvel since Endgame has felt rather aimless. I'm of the opinion there's still been some really great stuff in there, but it's just felt kind of disoriented. What are we trying to do here? What are we trying to accomplish? Are we world building? Are we telling a singular story? This film has a laser focus with a very strong character arc, not for Captain America, actually, but for Harrison Ford's Thaddeus Ross. To be fair, Anthony Mackie as Sam Wilson is excellent, and he really leaves an impression that yes, I am Captain America, I am assuming the mantle and I'm making it my own. But just as there wasn't a ton of growth per se for Steve Rogers in Captain America Winter Soldier, right? He was more holding strong and steady against the forces around him. It's also very true that Sam Wilson here shows up, represents, has all of the integrity and honor that you would expect from Captain America, but he is steady and true. His arc was more in the previous films as well as in Falcon and Winter Soldier. Here, Thaddeus Ross, who was previously portrayed by William Hurt, may he rest in peace, Harrison Ford is given some meat to chew on here, and he does not phone it in. I feel like we had an era there with Harrison Ford, like K-19, The Widowmaker, and Firewall, where he was just phoning in performances. But he's in a real career resurgence right now on Shrinking. Dial of Destiny was fine, but Harrison Ford was great in it. And he's great here. Like, I really feel like Harrison Ford is loving his craft again and wanting to cement his legacy as one of the greatest movie stars ever. Some of the side characters don't really do it for me, but they're also not bad. They're just kind of there. I also love seeing Carl Lumbly as Isaiah Bradley, the original Black super soldier that if you watch Falcon and the Winter Soldier, he was horribly mistreated by our government. He does a fantastic job here. He and Anthony Mackie have really wonderful friend chemistry. But where this film really shines, in my opinion, I think the action is really solid. I've heard some people say they thought the effects weren't great. I was watching the whole time for when the effects were going to fall down. Never happened for me. There's some plot holes here and there, but what I really loved, honestly, is there are plot threads in the MCU that all of us had just assumed they were never going to resolve or tie into anything meaningful. And they're tied into something meaningful here. And it's not just writing them off, it's actually fleshing them out and either giving them a good send-off or saying we're going to continue this down the road. This is the first time in a long time any sort of Marvel world building has landed for me as exciting for, oh, what's going to come next with this? Generally speaking, since Endgame, I've been most impressed with the stories that kind of stand alone by themselves. A lot of times when they're saying, here's what's coming next, it's fallen flat for me. Not here. Here I was like, oh, that's cool. Like, I've been excited for individual Marvel projects here and there, but for the first time in a long time, I'm excited for the MCU itself. So who's this movie for? Honestly, if you've ever enjoyed a Marvel movie. Now, there are other reviewers who feel differently and feel like this film falls flat. Not me. I felt like this was a great time at the movies and a return to form of sorts. Not to the highest of the highs. It's not peak Marvel, but it feels like when you would go to a Marvel movie and really enjoy yourself.
Don't give me hope.
What are some of the worthwhile themes? It's all about growth. It's all about trying to be a better version of yourself than you were, and just how hard that is when you keep stumbling or making some of the same old mistakes. So going into this movie, I would keep this question in mind. How can I keep from getting discouraged when I'm trying to be better and stumbling? So overall, fun time at the movies, 7 out of 10. Again, not top tier Marvel, but not bad. Especially if you're in the mood to grab some popcorn and just enjoy yourself at the movie theater. This is a solid entry that's got me primed for future Marvel projects. All right, so I'm gonna get into spoilers here, but before I do, let me know in the comments below, are you excited to see this film? What are your expectations? What are your hopes? Or if you saw it, what are your thoughts? Also, make sure to like, subscribe, and click that bell. When you click the bell, it means that you will never miss one of our reviews. You will get notified every single time. Okay, going into some spoilers here.
What?
Honey! Wow! Are you kidding me? You just ruin it every time!
The two movies to watch to prepare for this one are not even Captain America movies. They are The Incredible Hulk, starring Edward Norton and Liv Tyler and William Hurt, from 2008, the second MCU movie after Iron Man, which they basically forgot in the MCU, except a brief mention in the Avengers about Harlem being destroyed. And here it's back in a big way. It contributes in a major way to the future of the MCU. And I was super excited because I loved that movie. I love seeing Timothy Blake Nelson back as Samuel Stearns. You remember he is the scientist he's Mr. Blue that he's messaging with Edward Norton. And then he gets some gamma on his head and his head starts throbbing and you're like, oh, what's gonna happen? And now, 17 years later, something happened with that. It's so exciting for me, and it drives the plot of this movie. Similarly, with Thaddeus Ross, he's always been kind of an aggressively one-dimensional character, captivating because William Hurt is captivating. And here, I would have loved to see William Hurt do what Harrison Ford gets to do in this movie, not because I don't enjoy Harrison Ford. In fact, Harrison Ford crushed it, but William Hurt put in the time that he deserved to finish this arc, and he doesn't get to. But one of the biggest surprises for me is that Thaddeus Ross is set up as he's trying to be a better man. He's trying to be a president for the people. He's trying to change his ways from how aggressive and militant he was in the past. And you think, okay, yeah, right. And then it turns out, oh, he actually is. He's actually trying to be a better man. And he's actually trying to win back the affections of his daughter. Major spoiler, we get Liv Tyler back, guys. Liv Tyler comes back for two different cameos, one on the phone and one in person. And it's so interesting now because we had Liv Tyler and William Hurt and Edward Norton, and now Mark Ruffalo plays Hulk, and Harrison Ford plays Thaddeus Ross. But Liv Tyler's still there, representing 2008 Incredible Hulk. So I was really happy to see that, and just really enjoyed watching Thaddeus Ross wrestle with all of the damage and all of the hurt that he's done, and still making some pretty big mistakes here. Like, I really appreciated that when we take accountability and we grow, it's not all at once. That we're likely to fall back into old patterns and old habits, and he does. And it's compelling. Like, it's a really good character arc. What can I say? There's some other little MCU surprises in there, and you know, stay through the credits, of course. But yeah, good time. So there's some spoilery thoughts. I was a fan of this movie. I'm excited to watch it again, honestly. And for the first time, as I said, excited for the future of the MCU. So 7 out of 10. And next time Alan will be with me, we're going to talk about Paddington in Peru. Thanks, guys. We'll see you later.